Welcome to a fantastic new week. My name is Vida Echetabo. It's such a pleasure to host you to today's conversation. So we started talking about elements of finance and we have talked about water. So this week we're going to talk about, which one shall we do? Okay, so let's talk about air. Air is life as well, because you can't hold your breath incessantly. But with regards to the financial elements, air, I would liken it to two things. So we're doing a two for one conversation today. Air, I would liken it to our wants. Our wants are insatiable. We just want things because wants are, for the most part, driven first and foremost by impulses. Now, the other way we're also going to look at air is to also look at air with regards to inflation, because again, you feel you don't see air, you don't see inflation, but you definitely feel the impact, So let me give an example. The other day, I actually went to a supermarket, and as amazing as it was, there's this pack of malted milk cookies that I typically buy between the range of 800, maybe max 1-2, in that range. And I touched that pack of cookies and they told me 3,000 naira. I lost appetite immediately. I dropped it and I changed my mind on the spot because I really just couldn't fathom how I would spend 3,000 naira on a pack of biscuits I used to buy for 800, 900, 1,002 at the most. I even think I'm just putting the 1,002 just in case, and that's what inflation is about. Our wants, similarly, are also insatiable. It's like a bottomless pit. So for both inflation and wants, if we juxtapose it with our resources are finite, they are limited, Meanwhile, those two things seem to be infinite. They're just endless. Everything you touch, you just more or less feel it, but you can't find it. And when you go to a shop or you spend money these days, it leaves you feeling like you have been robbed. You are stunned, because you have felt the debit alert happen, but you really have not found the items that, correlate to the debit alerts. Now, how do we handle this situation? Because at the end of the day, it's not just for us to talk about, what the challenges are. Can we shield ourselves a total 100% from inflation? No. Can we kill all our wants? No. However, we can choose to prioritize. We need to prioritize to determine, since my wants are unlimited, since this inflation is outside of my control, how do I cope? I'm going to drop a list of all the things I want and need and put it in a scale of preference. So the first 5 are critical, clearly. The next 5 are important. The next 5 are, it would be good to have as soon as possible. And maybe the last 5 would be, I can really do without those things till such a time as I can really, really comfortably afford it. So it would require us to re-strategize, to reassess what's important, what's valuable to us, in the scheme of things. The other thing again would be for us to maybe consider, what can we repurpose? What can you repurpose? So we need to get to the point where whatever our purchases are, whatever our investments are, how can that thing do more than one thing for us? Is there a way that that single item can serve multiple purposes so that you get as much from that item as possible? Again, it would require us to look around us and say, okay, this works, this doesn't work, this I can do later, this at another time, or because of the times we're in, I may need to, downscale certain appetites and all that, and find creative ways to use what it is we already have or what we can afford to achieve the necessary goals. So I give an example. I like to eat out, fine dining. I really do like fine dining, but I also know that I cannot afford it sustainably, endlessly. So what do? I know how to cook. I know how to cook fine dining so that I can actually make myself an exotic meal. And when I say fine dining intercontinental or fine dining local, it doesn't matter. I will create it in my kitchen to my taste, to my palate, and it would match whatever you would get out there. So I have just found a way of meeting my desire, which is a want to have a nice regular fine dining experience, by meeting a need, which is the need is to eat food. Fine dining is a luxury, it's a want. So since I'm going to eat food, I can actually recreate my own fine dining experience at home and really, really enjoy myself while at it. On occasion, yes, I've hosted one or two friends, to come join me and eat, because life is better when it's shared with loved ones and friends. So I hope that you would go back to the drawing board. You would look at what you have, you would look at what you need and find a way to repurpose it and get the best out of your buck. Have a fantastic week. God bless you. Bye.